Hello guys, Michal Hucko here and welcome to another video of our Pandas tutorial. In this video we're gonna talk about some additional updates in the Pandas data frame which are available for you through the functionality. So let's jump right back into the Jupyter lab for you. Okay, as you can see, I'm running the fifth file from the GitHub link in the description below, and at the beginning I'm reading the data frame which I'm creating from a dictionary, where the column name will be A and B, and for the first column I'm creating a range starting from 1 up to 9, and for the second one starting from 10 up to 18. Okay, as you can see, after creating this, I have a data frame with two columns, and if I press the shape, you will see that I have 9 rows and 2 columns, right? It's fairly simple. Now, let's say you are in the situation where you want to create a third column, which you will call C, and you will create the range starting from 20 going up to 28. Creating a new column is as simple as this. You provide a column name in the round brackets or the square brackets, and then you provide the value inside this. Okay, because the column doesn't exist, you don't need to worry about view or a copy in this case, and you can directly do it this way. Then the result of this is the new data frame with the three columns and the 9 rows as it was previously. Now sometimes you want to combine the columns, so you want to run a mathematical operation here. Let's say you have dimensional positions and you want to multiply them or add them together into a third column. So like running the mathematical operations with this is as simple as this. So you provide the name of the column and then you can refer to other columns just by going through the dot or through the square brackets or through the log. It's up to you, you can do whatever you want. You can even go like this and then put this result of the sum operation to the power of 2, right? And as you can see, the new column is being added to the original data frame immediately. Now, this can be sometimes very handy because, as I mentioned, in many cases you want to work with multiple rows within the third row, and you want to do this after reading the file from CSV, let's say. So just keep in mind that you can refer the other columns inside the new column anytime you want. It's as simple as this. Then Pandas provides you also the functionality to add a new column, let's say at the bottom, and you can add the column or rewrite the existing column when you specify the position. So as you can see, I have here the 9 rows, right? But I want to access the 9th row, which doesn't exist. So I am referring here to the shape because the shape will return the number of rows. And here with the log, this time I'm using log, okay? I'm referring because the first number of log is the index number. So here will be provided the number 9, and because the 9th row doesn't exist, I'm creating there a new array with the values. So here you must specify the same number as the number of columns, and then as you can see, the 9th column has been appended there for us. So it's as simple as this. You need to provide the index of the row which you are updating or creating, and then the values. So in the array or whatever. Okay. Now let's talk about something different. You have created the data frame and then you want to delete the column or row. Again, there is a functionality for deleting this. As you can see here, I'm reading the data frame. So in this case, I will have three columns, and then I want to drop the C. And here is the axis parameter, which is very essential in Pandas because it refers on which axis of the data frame should be the function applied. So there are always two axes. One is the zero axis, which refers to the rows, and then is the one axis which refers to the columns. And because I'm saying please drop something which is called C and apply this for a column, apply this column wise, and then you can see I'm having a new data frame with only 2 columns. Now there is this magical argument in place, and let me show you what will happen if I don't put here the in place. So if I don't put here the in place, the resulting operation will be returned, right? So the returned value of the drop will be the new data frame, right? But when then I will refer to original data frame, the original data frame won't be adjusted, right? So when you specify the in place is out of the box, in this case set to 2. to false, right? So a copy of a data frame is being returned. But sometimes I want to refer to a same data frame and I don't want to, save it into a temporal variable and then assign this temporal variable to the old variable. So I can do this immediately by saying, please do it in place into the original data frame for me. And the original data frame will be deleted. Please keep in mind, in place is a very handy argument for you. It's almost part of every Pandas function, okay? So let's go next. Let's say we want to delete a row, right? Sometimes deleting a row is also a use case for you. So deleting the row is as simple as specifying the index of the row which we want to delete and the axis set to 0 because this time we are referring to a rows of the data frame, not to the columns. So as you can see, then the second index is missing because there is the 1 and the 3. Okay, what you can do is also you can delete a row based on the condition. This is quite common, and you can delete multiple rows based on the condition. So as you can see, in this case, I'm again calling a drop function of the data frame, but there I'm doing something like this, and this might be a little weird for you. So I will just put it here outside of the function for you. So let's go step by step. So for those beginners of the UI, I will start here. So DFA stands for I want to refer to a column A where the values are less than 3. This will return a bool index, also known as a mask in the Pandas data frame. Then I'm referring to all the rows. And then I'm referring to the index of these rows. And this is returning an array which I'm providing to drop. And then I'm deleting it from the data frame immediately. So as you will see when we run this, the first two columns will be deleted. Why? Because in the data frame, the values started from 1 and there was the number 1 and number 2 in the index 0 and index 1. Fairly easy, quite straightforward. You just need to always think what you are providing as the argument to which function, and you need to be 100% sure that this function is accepting these arguments, okay? So that was deleting based on the condition. Now another one of the most common use cases in the Pandas is to renaming the columns. So let's say you have read the CSV file and there were some ugly, typos in the name of the columns and you want to rewrite it to something more beautiful. So you read the data frame in this case with the dictionary ABC, 3 columns the same way as before, and then you are saying, okay, please rename, in this case columns, rename the A column to new 1 and rename the B column to new B. Please do it in place for me. So we are directly affecting the original data frame, and by running this is the result over here, this one, okay? Fine. Now the thing is like when we were talking about the columns, you can immediately rename the columns this way by providing, you can refer to columns and then providing new names to the columns. So let's say Mihal Hudsko number 3. Please know that we are using mixed type where the third column is the integer, rest of those are strings. You can also provide here a tuple as I showed you in previous video like this. Be running, and now the columns has been adjusted. As simple as this. This can be quite sometimes handy, but imagine you have 1000 columns, you need to specify 1000 variables here, so also the rename can be useful. Okay guys, that was a brief video about basic updating functionality in Pandas. I hope you will use some of these functions in your work, in your data science work. I'm using these functions daily and I think it's quite essential for you to understand them when you are beginning with the Pandas. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope I will see you in the next one.